A group of men accusing an Ohio State doctor of decades of sexual abuse go back in front of the University Board of Trustees tomorrow. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us tonight at 6. I'm Colleen Marshall.
I'm Mark Taylor. As the two groups plan to come together, victims' lawyers are taking sworn statements from other former OSU doctors who were aware of complaints of sex abuse at the hands of the same doctor. NBC4's Ted Hart is live on campus tonight with a look at these newest developments tonight. Ted?
Yeah, well, there are more than a dozen pending lawsuits, more than 175 victims dating back to the 80s and 90s when Dr. Richard Strauss worked here on campus as the team doctor for the wrestling team and other sports as well. The victims believe that the university should be doing more for them now and should have done more then. Dr. Ted Grace was the director of the Ohio State Student Health Center in the mid-90s during the tail end of Dr. Richard Strauss's career. Attorney Scott Smith says Grace was deposed today by attorneys representing some of the Strauss victims.
Dr. Grace has firsthand knowledge of Dr. Strauss's involvement in the sexual scandal and the complaints that were made against him directly in the 90s.
Smith says Dr. Grace is one of 6 OSU physicians who declined to participate in the university's investigation of Strauss, but are now being deposed by victims' attorneys, hoping to get Ohio State back to the negotiating table.
They claim to be actively engaged in mediation. I can tell you we're not currently actively meeting this case, and OSU is not participating in any active mediation as we sit here today.
Ohio State disputes that characterization, insisting that the university is actively participating in good faith in the mediation process directed by the federal court, and has been covering the cost of professionally certified counseling services and treatment for anyone affected, as well as reimbursing costs for counseling already received. A year ago, victims addressed the University Board of Trustees and described the sexual abuse they endured. The chairman of the board, Michael Gasser, told them the trustees are committed to doing the right thing. Now, Brian Garrett and 2 other Strauss victims will go back in front of the board Thursday to say they continue to feel victimized by the lack of a resolution of their claims.
We want them to know that a year's gone by, there's still no resolution. We're not happy with your public comments because they're either they're insulting and offensive, and that the longer this drags out, the more damage is done.
And Garrett and the 2 other victims will be allotted a total of 30 minutes tomorrow afternoon to address the board. The board has indicated because of the pending litigation, trustees will not engage in any back-and-forth discussion with the victims. Local for you and live on campus, Ted Hart, NBC4.
All right, Ted, thank you.